lovers, welcome to Honeybee Stamping Hive, where a creative buzz is always in the air. I am Tashana Lundy, your independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Today we will be making this cute little Hershey Nuggets box. It holds 2 Hershey Nuggets. I've shared this the other day on my blog during the Stampers by the Dozen blog hop, and along with other items that I will be making videos in the future on, so make sure you come back and see those. But for this box, we're going to be making it in a different color today. We're going to be using the same papers and supplies, but just different colors. This is the Merry Music DSP, the designer series paper that we're going to be using. But today we're going to make it in black instead of red and use the white paper, okay? So let's get started. Let me tell you what we're going to need. We're going to need a piece of black cardstock that measures 5.5 by 3 5/8. And this is just a scrap piece of white paper to make the bow for the topper of the box. We're going to need a piece of designer series paper that measures 1 inch by 1 3/8 inches. And I've already went ahead and stamped our sentiment. And this was cut out using the layering squares thinlits or framelits, layering square framelits. And this Enjoy comes from Tabs for Everything stamp set. Okay, so we're just going to get started. Go ahead and get started. And I'm going to be using my Simply Scored scoring tool to score this. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Where's my score tool? Okay, so on the long side, on the 5 5, with the 5 5.5 inch side along the top, on the long side, we're going to score at 1/2 inch, 2 inches, 3 inches, and 4.5. We're going to turn it to the short side at the top. We're going to score at 1/2 inch, 1.5 inches, and 2 5/8. Okay, and that's all our scoring done. And I made a template so because I'm not sure if you can see those score lines. I don't know if you can see what. So I made a template that shows exactly where we're going to be cutting. All the red marks are where we're cutting, and the black dotted lines are the score lines, okay? So that's just my template to show me where to go. So I'm going to start at the bottom, and just so you won't get confused, you'll know the bottom from the top. You put it the long way. The long way has 1, 2, 3, 4 score marks. And so you know the top from the bottom is 1, 2, 3. Okay? So we're going to start at the bottom. We're going to cut away this little rectangle here. We're going to wedge in a little bit. And we're going to cut straight up all these score lines at the bottom. Okay, and on the squares, we're going to just take a little wedge out of all the squares. We're going to leave the rectangles the way they are. Okay, then on this end, we're going to cut away this entire section. It's 4 little, a rectangle, a little bitty square, a rectangle, and a bigger rectangle here. Okay, so we're just gonna cut. Okay, and we're gonna do a little wedge on that side for our tab. Okay, and then here we're just gonna cut straight down these score lines. And on these 2 end flaps, we're going to cut the top score line completely off, just on the ends. Okay, and then on these, again, like we did at the bottom on the squares, we're going to just wedge in just a little bit. This just helps the boxes go together easier. Just give it a little haircut. We don't need that anymore. Okay, so that's the cutting done. Now we're going to round these corners on this. That's going to be the closing flap. And this is a retired Project Life corner rounder. If you don't have this, you can use the envelope punch board. There's a corner rounder on that. Okay, and now we're going to fold and burnish all of our score lines using the bone folder. I'm going to burnish everything. Just one more to go. Okay. And then the box just goes together with this flap right here. And this will be the back of your box. So you would put this flap in, the two sides flaps in at the bottom first, push that one, and this will be the last one. So this is where you're going to put some adhesive. And I'm going to use a little bit of tearing tape. So just open this up. You know, to put our adhesive here. We're just going to put a little bit on this tab right here to close the box. So just two little pieces of adhesive. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my Designer Series paper on, and we're going to put that on the front of the box, which will be this part right here. So I'll go ahead and I'm going to use my Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue to do that. We're going to attach that on. I like this glue. This is one of my favorite adhesives just because it lets you move the paper around once you've stuck it down, just in case you didn't get it quite straight. Okay. Now that's done. We can go ahead and, well, let's go ahead and adhere our sentiment. And I'm going to adhere that with some mini Stampin' dimensionals. So let me go ahead and get one of those off. Put it on the back. I'm going to put two. Two seems like a good amount. And I'm going to use a little pearl, because on the red one, oops, on this one I used the rhinestone and colored it black. But since our cardstock is black, I want to use a white pearl. So I have my pearls here, and I'll get one of the small ones and put it right here at the bottom. Okay, we'll go ahead and take the backings off of these and center this into the front of the box. Okay, and now we can put the box together. So take the backing off the adhesive. I just folded that over because it was a little piece, a little bit too long. And we're just going to make sure this lines up, score line to score line. Can you see this? I'm sorry. Almost. Come on. There we go. Now that's straight. Okay, and again, this is the back of our box, so we're going to push the two sides in. Uh-oh, did I not get that right? Let's try that again. Come off. Just, okay, I went over the score line a little bit. Okay, push the two sides in, the bottom flap down. The back flap rather, then bring the front flap to the back. Just adhere it down. And I'll use my bone folder just to make sure everything is secured. Then just close up our little box. And I have, I already have some Hershey Nuggets wrapped that we can put inside. I just used a 1 by 3 inch strip of the DSP and wrapped it around a Hershey Nugget. And you see two of them fit in there. And just close the box up. Okay, and now we're going to make the bow that goes on top. We're going to use the bow builder punch, and we need to punch out two bows. And we also need a 1/2 inch circle. Okay, and to do this, I'm just going to break the fibers in the paper to get it started. We're not going to use these, or only need one of those, okay? So we're not going to use the tails. So I'm going to use glue dots, and I have glue dots that came out of one of my paper pumpkin kits that I'm going to use. So we're just going to put one here and take off the backing and close these two tails together. Repeat on the other one. Take off the backing. Okay, and then I'm going to get one more glue dot and stick it here to adhere the two bow pieces together to form our bow. And actually, because we're using this circle, we don't even need this little piece. That usually wraps around the middle of the bow, but we're not going to use that because we're going to be using this circle. And on that circle, I want to put a pearl, but because the paper is white, I'm going to take a black Sharpie marker and color one of our pearls black. And it only takes a second to dry, so while that's drying, we will add some adhesive to this to add it to the top of our box. So what do I think I'll use glue dots to put that on as well. So we'll put another one on the bottom there. And just stick this in the center of our top of our box. As best as you can, center it. Okay, and then I'm going to pop this up with the mini Stampin' and Dimensional. So I'll get one of those, put on the back there, and our pearl should be dry enough to put here. Try to get it in the center best you can. And I just like to use my paper piercer on little things to help me with my big fingers. And there you have it. This is our Hershey Nugget box. It holds 2 Hershey Nuggets. There you go. So don't forget to leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe to my videos. And as always, I want to thank you for buzzing by the hive today. Until next time, buzz you later.